Hey everybody, I figure I'd do another video on this, seeing as there's more information coming out. This is Sean on Fox News talking with Eric Trump on what occurred. So I'll be stopping this video. I'll put the link in the description to this original Fox News video so you don't have to listen to me if you don't want, and then you can watch it, right? But this is me analyzing and just giving my opinions of what occurred, and we're going to go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and unpause.
For most of the day, as I understand it today, Eric Trump is with us. Eric, you were with your dad as this was unfolding?
I was, Sean. In fact, I was the guy that got the call this morning, and I called my
So he received the call, and yeah,
father, let him know that it happened. So I was involved in this all day, and welcome to politics in the 2000s. Sean, my father never got so much as a speeding ticket in his life, until he made one decision, and that's to go down the escalators of Mar-A-Lago. And
that is true. I mean, he doesn't seem to have done anything that anyone can find, which is, I would say, for a New York real estate developer, is probably unusual, because I don't know if you know who runs the cement business, but those aren't very nice people. Or bribing officials to get things done. I haven't heard anything like that. No proof has been out there. I mean, he might have done some of that stuff because you have to get that stuff done, right? When you're in the line of business he is in, I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe some Americans would be shocked about it. I honestly wouldn't be, but obviously nothing has ever stuck to Donald Trump as far as doing something illegal.
spend a lot of money and go and actually fight for this country for the first time. And he did a better job than anybody has ever done.
Yeah, I agree with that. He has done a better job than anyone else in my lifetime has done.
And they started coming after him. The Washington Post, the day he won, 2016, the day he won, November 8th, that night they wrote an article. This is when impeachment.
And that's right. The day he won, they want to impeach, impeach, impeach. And that was such a sham. I can't believe people, actually Democrats, could actually, with a straight face, say they believe Adam Schiff and, oh, there was collusion. And even to this day, you got Democrats, because of news, believing that crap when it's been proven and been debunked. And Hillary has been proven that she was colluding with Russia to get those fake dossier and stuff on Trump and Trump family.
Impeachment begins. He wasn't president. He hadn't been elected for for 5 minutes at that point. And they start. This is when impeachment begins.
That's
and then
true.
He's impeached the first time, and then he was impeached the second time, and
yeah, impeached twice, and nothing occurred. Nothing stuck. There was no evidence of anything. And anything they found, it seemed like the Democrats had been doing.
they slandered him. They belittled him. They went after him.
Yep, they have slandered him a great deal. And it's funny because most Democrats were in love with his TV show, The Apprentice. They were in love with Donald Trump, rap music, talking about being as rich as Donald Trump and stuff. I mean, they sure did love the guy.
They went after all of us. There's no family in American history that has taken more arrows in the back than the Trump family, every single time. And you know what? It's gone on past politics. You look at the attorney generals, you look at district attorneys all over the country.
Yeah, all put in place by George Soros money. Can I say that? Am I going to be ridiculed on, YouTube's going to be like, you can't say George Soros? Oh, yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, George Soros is the problem in the world, using his money for true evil.
All they want to do is they want to get Donald Trump. They raise money on it. They send fundraising emails about it. They brag on camera about it.
Yeah, that's right. They do. They run on, I'm going to impeach Donald Trump. He's not even in office anymore. You guys are mentally ill. Go
after him. They subpoena him. I'm probably the most subpoenaed person in the history of the United States. Every single day we get another subpoena. And they do it for one reason. Because they don't want Donald Trump to run and win again in 2024. And Sean, that's what this is.
That is what that's about. They are afraid he will run, he will win, he will turn around the economy a second time, and Democrats won't be able to say any of their policies work because if he got in and turned it around, or DeSantis got in and turned it around, anyone, they're gonna look mighty foolish.
About today, to have 30 FBI agents, actually more than that, descend on Mar-A-Lago, give absolutely, no notice, go through the gate, start ransacking an office, ransacking a closet.
It is pretty ridiculous, being that it's a former president of the United States. You usually give the dignity of, hey, we're looking for this stuff. Do you have this stuff? And maybe have them come, look around, and yeah, go from there.
They broke into a safe. He didn't even have anything in the safe. I mean, give me a break. And
So they destroyed a safe. Who knows what else they destroyed? No one talks about the monetary value you lose when these things occur. I mean, it could be like they show up to my house and just bust in the door and everything. I'm out a door. I don't know if you know how much doors cost. Cheap one maybe $800, but most doors on houses probably 1,800, 32, even $5,000. You're out of that. Break into a safe. You're out of whatever that safe cost because they open it versus just saying like, hey, what's the code of that? And then if you didn't give it, then you break into it.
And this is coming from what? The National Archives? Yet, Hunter Biden, he's a firearms crimes, prostitution, illegal drugs.
Yeah, that's right. Hunter Biden's done a lot of stuff he's not looked into, and it's even all documented on his laptop because he's a bumbling moron that left his laptop for repair at a place. And he had all that stuff on it, then never went back to pick it up because he was on the crack pipe.
Shady deals with everybody around the world. And by the way, it's all on his laptop for the whole world to see. In his own writing, in his own words, corroborated.
Plus all the calls and everything else. The more stuff, it continually is leaked out about that. It's like nonstop. It just keeps giving, man.
By everybody. Where are these FBI agents? Where is everybody? Why is it that the arrows only fly at Donald Trump and his family? Why?
I think there should be a lot of FBI agents that are ashamed and should step down. Even your normal person. You can't just say, I'm following orders. Nazis did that too, following orders, and look, they were put on trial. I was following orders. I do believe somewhat that is legit. You're following orders. You don't want to get in trouble. You don't want to die. And in this case, you're probably not going to die, but as an FBI agent, I'm just following orders. I don't want to lose my job. Well, at a certain point, you got to wake up and say, grow a pair and stand up and say, nah, this doesn't smell right. I'm not doing it. I'm out of here.
Why is it that the political persecution only goes one way in this country?
Let's talk a little bit about what you were being told. What was the purpose for this raid?
Yeah, that's the main thing. What is the purpose?
Sean, the purpose for the raid, from what they said, was because the National Archives wanted to, corroborate whether or not Donald Trump had any documents in his possession. And
so they want to corroborate that he has no more, they should say no more documents in his possession. And then they'll go into this. I've already watched this, but basically I want to skip ahead a little bit because they work in. So picture, do you think Donald Trump actually packed any box? He's a billionaire. People do that for him. He doesn't pack anything. So stuff might have accidentally, like papers and stuff, got taken that shouldn't have been taken. They're saying classified, but we're never going to know the details if it's really classified stuff or not. But the National Archives needs that stuff because they archive it, right? It's presidential records of events and what have you. So they want stuff back. They've been working with them. They've given back stuff. So they just want to make sure he has nothing else. It's kind of a weird way of going about it versus saying, hey, can we show up next week and go through it? Like, he's going to hide it. I mean, what type of document would he have had to take that? It's going to be what, so damning to the Bidens? I don't know. It's weird.
My father has worked so collaboratively with them for months. In fact, the lawyer that's been working on this was totally shocked. He goes, I have such an amazing relationship with these people, and all of a sudden, on no notice, they sent 20 cars and 30 agents.
Yeah.
Sean, I mean, this is just more political persecution of Donald J. Trump. They see Biden.
Well, let me go
He's
through
failing
this in
every
a little detail.
single. Please.
But because I'm assuming, all right, so your father is packing, he's leaving the White House. I don't know. I'm guessing that your dad probably didn't pack a single box. I'm just guessing. You would know better than I.
Yeah. Do you think Donald Trump is actually packing his boxes for moving out? No, not at all. I personally would hire somebody like I would be packing more than he would, but I'm just saying, somebody his caliber isn't packing a box. It'd be like saying, is Joe Biden packing a box? No. Is Bill Clinton packing a box? No. Although kind of hard to steal artwork, antiques, and stuff. I'm sure they directed people like, pack that, pack that, pack that, and those people just did it because they didn't know any better.
You can tell me if he did or if he didn't. All these boxes, all your personal items get brought down to Mar-A-Lago. There's a question about whether there might be classified information that had been written about a long time ago. Let's walk through the process.
Yeah, this has already been going on for a while, and they've already gone through stuff. And
so Mar-a-Lago, the people that work for your dad, were working with the National Archives to go through the material to make sure if there was anything mistakenly taken that it was going to be returned.
Yeah, that's right. If anything was mistakenly taken, it was going to be returned. They didn't have to do it this way for the final, let's just make sure type thing.
And you were working collaboratively on that. Is that correct?
So when the president moves out of the White House, you have effectively, 6 hours to move out of the White House. It's effectively inauguration time where one president gets moved out and one president gets moved in, right? That's how the whole system works, as you know better than anybody. My father always kept clippings, press clippings. He would have, newspaper articles, pictures, notes from us. When my mom passed away a couple weeks ago, he still had all the notes, over the years had been saved, all the notes that she had ever written him. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. My father saves clippings and things like that. So he had boxes, right, when he moved out of the White House. And he was very collaborative. If you want to search for anything, if you think anything, come right ahead. I mean,
So there's something that can be backed up that he liked to save stuff and had boxes and boxes. Is that the stuff that the National Archive is like, oh, well, we have a right to that because he saved it as being president? Well, he's always done that. But we're not being told exactly what they're looking for.
It was an open door policy. And all of a sudden, 30 agents descend upon Mar-a-Lago. Sean, this didn't come from the little local FBI field office in Palm Beach, Florida. You know who this came from. This came from one place and one building, and that is the White House in Washington, D.C. They want to attack a guy who they view as his greatest threat.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, Trump is Biden's greatest threat and any other Democrat's greatest threat, possibly being reelected. But the thing they didn't count on is that people now are going to vote for Donald Trump because they've had it, I've had it, I'm voting for the guy. So
Biden's greatest threat. And that's exactly what Donald J. Trump is, because you know what? He had an incredibly strong country. People realized he was an effective president. And you see Biden right now. I mean, Taiwan is getting circled by military planes literally as we sit here and speak right now.
So true. Taiwan's having missiles launched over their country. China's has ships around. They could invade any day now, and we wouldn't really be prepared because they keep saying training exercises. They sure do have a lot of training exercises when they get upset.
You've got, Russia, Ukraine, which is a total disaster. You've got everything that's happening in Iran, which is a disaster. You've got inflation. You've got gas prices. All the things that you talk about all night. We're not respected by anybody around the world. Our economy is garbage, and they worry that Donald Trump will come back in and win this very easily. They also worry about the 2022 midterms, which is the only reason they're doing the sham January 6th panel that does not have a single Republican on it. I mean, other than Liz Cheney.
Yeah, that's a total joke, that whole January 6th. And, oh, it was so bad. And you clearly have people like you have Capitol Police letting people in, saying, "Hey, come on in," and walking away, and come on, "Hey, how's it going?" And no one burned the building down. No one really caused any destruction other than that one window area. And yeah, you had some rambunctious people. Prosecute them. But as a whole, people just basically walked through, took some selfies. Who cares? That wasn't the biggest story of the year. Democrats like to make it out to be, but it wasn't.
Cheney, who's about to lose her race by 25 points, right? It's more political persecution of Donald
Yeah, it's
J.
all
Trump.
political.
They can't stand that Americans love him. I mean, even as I watch the channel right now, they keep on showing these beautiful clips of people, waving Trump flags outside of Mar-A-Lago, his supporters. When has it ever happened in a political movement
right.
in the United States before?
Yeah, usually a president's gone and that's it. No one is out there with the support, giving them support at that time,
Think back to the Russia hoax, the Russia witch hunt, the conspiracy theory. It went on for 3 long years. Eric, I covered it every
his first term should be voided. He should get 2 more terms.
single night, and we ended up being vindicated on every single solitary thing that was reported on this show with our full ensemble cast.
Just saying.
Ari Fleischer tweeted out, "All I can say is the FBI better have a slam dunk criminal case. Otherwise, the Biden administration and the DOJ have crossed a line of no return." What could they possibly think existed inside of Mar-a-Lago in a box that was taken from the White House that was so damaging that the FBI director and the Attorney General of the United States would have to raid a former president's residence and...
That's right. I mean, why would you feel that in some box is going to be the most damning thing that, oh my God, he took the launch codes or something? I mean, honestly, what is so crazy here? Oh, but those that hate Trump are going to latch onto this and be like, he did something. Oh, yeah, whatever.
And grab everything out of there, because that doesn't make sense. What secret document could possibly rise to that level?
Yeah. UFOs. It's the aliens, man. That's the secret document. Lizard people.
I don't know. They'll probably
Pelosi is a lizard person. I mean, you see those eyebrows? It looks like she's going to take flight. I mean, who paints on their eyebrows like that?
For me, telling him how proud I am of him and what a great job he was doing as president, they might find some.
Maybe he has some document that links Pelosi and her crooked husband with their whole stock. with their insider trading, because they get inside information and they never lose. They never have a bad stock pick.
Some pictures of my kids, maybe some nice, headlines, maybe a nice note from you, Sean. It's insane. How many times can you cry wolf? I mean, the FBI dragged this whole country through hell for 3 years based on lies and deceit and dirty dossiers and FISA warrants and everything else. Right? And everything proved to be incorrect, fraudulent, made up, an absolute sham. They dragged this country through hell. Yeah. And here they are again, raiding the guy's house. I mean, when do you give up? When do you say enough's enough? When do you give a human being...
All I gotta say is they F themselves, because now people are going to vote. It's going to even be a greater turnout. Thank you. Thank you, Democrats. You guys are like wacko.
Who fought so hard for this country. When do you give them the benefit of the doubt? It's got to stop, Sean. I mean, this is third world,
we do have examples.
Banana Republic stuff.
All right, so Hillary Clinton deletes the 33,000.
Yeah. Hillary Clinton can delete information, run a private server, and not get in trouble. But heaven forbid, Donald Trump has a paper or something in a box that's supposedly classified.
Email, she comes up with the dirty Russian dossier. That dossier is disseminated to the...
Yeah, she's the one that pays for a dossier that is BS. That, I mean, she should be prosecuted on so many different levels and so many different things, and she isn't. So I don't even care if he actually did take something, because she's not being prosecuted. Why should he be?
The press, the media mob, or the willing accomplices, they disseminate false information in the lead up to the 2016 election. Nothing happens to her. Nothing happens to the media. They don't even apologize or correct the record at any.
They don't even look into Joe Biden, Ukraine, and his son getting money and all this. That, I mean, he could be compromised. We don't know, and we're actually allowing him to be president. That's sickening.
Particular point. Then, of course, that information, unverified, is used to spy on Carter Page and backdoor into the Trump campaign, transition team, and presidency. Nobody gets held accountable for that. If you or your brother Don Jr., God forbid, you lied on a gun application, I doubt you'd be on this program tonight. You'd be serving time in jail. Or you have process crimes. Peter Navarro was being charged with a misdemeanor. That usually means you call the lawyer and say, have your client report at this time, at this place, or we will secure a warrant for that person's arrest. Same with a process crime with Manafort, or same with Roger Stone.
Yeah. Usually those are all handled as, hey, turn yourself in, you got X amount of hours, and they let the people do it because they're not violent criminals. They're not people that are going to go on the run. It just doesn't happen.
I mean, these are not violent criminals that deserve pre-dawn raids with guns in their face, and then, of course, tipped off CNN cameras. And America tonight is asking, do we have equal justice and application of our laws in this country? Because after the way they treated your father with the Russian hoax, after, you know, again, they better have a good reason for this. And here's another thing. Were the lawyers allowed to follow the FBI through Mar-A-Lago today as they were looking everywhere? Did anyone watch them?
No, the answer is lawyers weren't allowed. They weren't allowed to be anywhere within sight. It's horrible. That's got to be a violation right there.
Yeah, I mean, you could plant something. How can that be legit? I mean, so they find something mysteriously in a box. Did they plant that? I wouldn't put it past a political organization like the FBI.
They weren't allowed to be anywhere in sight. And going back to Hillary, there's a whole lot of other things. How about the Benghazi scandals? How about the Clinton Foundation? I mean,
oh yeah, the Clinton Foundation. I talked about that in my last video. I mean, come on, that was a scam right there. Countries don't need to donate to you to give to a cause. They donate directly to the cause, like Haiti. Saudi Arabia would just give money to Haiti, not to Clinton Foundation, who's then going to give it to Haiti. That's just not how that occurs, people.
how many, shady oligarchs from Russia were contributing to that? How about Uranium One? You want to talk about, scandals that were never investigated, never vetted? It's the rules for thee and not for me, right? That's the old, Sean, this has been happening since day one. They cannot stand that a guy named Donald Trump, who's a real estate developer, who built tremendous wealth and fame, was able to go into a political system in the U.S. and take out a person like Hillary Clinton and beat.
Yeah, Hillary Clinton thought she was owed the presidency. She always thought that. And she was mad that Obama got in and she didn't. And payback to her from Obama was her being Secretary of State. And then Senator, which she ran in a Democratic district. So how are you going to lose that? And then she thought, well, now I'm owed the presidency because I have all this experience. And she didn't win, and she was upset about it, because she believed she should have been the first woman president. She's wacko. She's a nut job, people.
Beat them at their own game, and then go into Washington, D.C. and do a phenomenal job and not play by the rules and end up becoming one of the best presidents this country has ever had. And then they put in one of their own, and the guy turns out to be an absolute flop. He does a terrible, terrible job, and the country's going to hell under his leadership. And then now all of a sudden they realize that his son's in trouble, and that he's in trouble, and their political party's in trouble, and that Donald Trump is poised if he wanted it. If he decided to hop back on that stage and wanted it, they know he's poised to win and get.
That's right. And, this is going to reinforce that he's going to double down and he's going to run. I already showed you the video off his Truth Social site, which is like a political ad basically saying he's going to run. And at this point, he should just announce it. I don't know if there's a limit or why he just doesn't announce it. It's pretty much he is going to run, and let it start. Let the campaigning legitimately start, because at this point, I think the Democrats and the FBI F themselves, because now there's a good chance he runs, he wins, and he cleans house. And he's going to start with the FBI and change that. And the IRS, get that money we're funding them in the hiring of those. Hey, I wouldn't want to be one of those new agents coming in thinking I have a secure job. No, you're gone. Not only are you gone, we're going to be reducing the size. We don't need an IRS agency that is so huge. We don't need this many IRS agents. The tax code should be so easy that you don't need that many. Maybe you have a call center of 50 people and they're just there to answer and help you, walk you through your tax form, and you send it in and you're done. If the tax code wasn't so hard, wouldn't need to you wouldn't need to hire a professional. You wouldn't have to worry about the IRS coming after you because it was so easy, unless you just don't even file one, which then, okay, then they have a few agents that handle that. But you don't need a lot. You don't need building full. And think of the smaller building you have, less IT staff you need, less people all around. Just phase all those people out. Not even phase it, just get rid of them.
Guess what? That threatens them, that threatens who they are, and they will do anything they can to take him out, to take me out, to take Don out, to take Ivanka out, to take our family out. They do it every single day. They do it at a state level. They do it at a federal level. The FBI does it. They subpoena us. They make our lives hell, Sean, every single day because they are threatened by Donald J. Trump. And honestly, I hope, and I'm saying this for the first time, I hope he goes out and beats these guys again. Because honestly, this country can't survive this nonsense. It can't. This is not who we are. This is who Venezuela is, Sean.
That's right. That's what third world countries are. That's not us traditionally. We need reform, and it needs a start bottom up, top down, whatever. It just needs to be total reform, and he needs a run on that. And I think he has a good chance of winning, which will just make people explode. They will go nuts. They will go absolutely bonkers. But will they? Or will the media go bonkers? And will people like George Soros find it an opportunity to fund groups to go bonkers, to cause this division? George Soros wants the U.S. to fail. I don't know why. Because he's a crazy billionaire that has nothing better to do with his money. Why can't you just go retire, enjoy your yacht, and not worry about any politics? Anyways, I just thought I'd bring you this because it came out and I did that other video, and yeah, so I'm back to doing some political videos that I find interesting. I find this very interesting, very, very concerning, and it should be put out there because people need to see the stuff, listen to the stuff, and get out there, vote for midterms and vote for 2024 because it's going to be very important. We have to take back midterms. We have to take everything back. So Biden is a lame duck. Anyways, take care all. Stay well, stay safe. Have a good one. Bye.